Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi man wala. Amma ba'd. Firstly, I apologize for last week. For those that didn't know that the lesson wasn't on, I did forget to mention at the lesson, and the brother sent out the message, but not all of you are on the list. So, yani, alhamdulillah, we were overseas doing some things. So I apologize about last week. Whoever came, alhamdulillah, you got the ajr, inshallah. You got the ajr for the right intention, and we continue from now. I'll try to make sure that I announce it if I'm not going to be here at the lesson or on Facebook also, inshallah. This week, inshallah azza wa jal, we speak about work, the Muslim mindset and work. And this is actually one of the original topics I wanted to speak about regarding this series. This topic is one of the main reasons I actually wanted to do this series, because of how much I say brothers and sisters fall into mistakes regarding this matter, the matter of work. And if they had a different mindset regarding it, again, a lot of things would be different. The whole reason we wanted to speak about the mindset series is so people understand, how do I think as a Muslim? What principles should I have in my mind regarding matters in order for me to worship Allah Azza wa Jal in all facets of my life? This is one of the biggest ones. I found people continuously falling into issues, whether it was friends and family that I see, whether it was questions I get asked about, whether it is students in school that have or don't have a plan in terms of what they want to do. This is something that would always come up in question, and this is something that would always come up as a discussion matter. And inshallah azza wa jal, we can discuss it today and benefit together. The first matter regarding work in its mindset is that it is an act of worship. The person who works a halal job, this is an act of worship. When you go and you work your job, your 9 to 5, your 6 to 3, whatever it may be, if you are doing it with the intention to earn a halal income, then your work is worship. Some of your parents, you may have heard them say that, al-amal jihad. Work is jihad, being in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there is truth to this, because there are narrations authentic from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that says that the one who goes and he earns for his parents or he earns for his children and the like, that this person is in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Obviously with condition that the person is working a halal job. When you know that your work with the right intention, that you're working in the halal, to stay away from the haram, is an act of worship, then you understand that you are getting rewarded for the work that you do. You are getting rewarded for the work that you do. Tayyib. What happens if this work itself is haram? Then obviously, you, a'yadhan billah, are earning sins. If a person is working in a line of work that is haram, then you are working sins. Or you're forced to do a haram while you're at work. For example, your hijab is compromised. Or you're working with haram meat, as an example. Or you're working in a place that serves alcohol. Or you're working security at a place that you're not allowed to work security at, as an example. Then your wealth now becomes haram. Instead of you having the opportunity of being at work 8, 9, 10 hours a day, earning hasanat, now you're at work 8, 9, 10 hours a day earning sins, a'yadhan billah. And this is something very important for you to keep in mind. When you say it's a ibadah, and you're doing the halal to stay away from the haram, then in this case, your wealth now has barakah in it. Your wealth has blessing in it. And the opposite, when it's haram, your wealth has no blessing. Your wealth has no blessing. So the one who wants his dollar to go that extra mile, the only way you're going to get that is for the barakah of Allah Azza wa Jal. The one who has barakah removed, inshallah, you're earning hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. It's like filling up water in a bucket that has holes at the end of it. You're going to be filling up, inshallah, hundreds of thousands, inshallah, millions of dollars. But a person will be led to feel at the end of it like he's earning nothing. He doesn't know where his money is going. Why? Because there's haram at the end of it. Then, ultimately in the hereafter, a person who worked a halal job and earned all of that hasanat, let's say you're working for 40, 50 years. A person who worked a halal job for 40, 50 years, he finds that in his scale of good deeds on the day of judgment. And the person, a'yadhan billah, who worked a haram job, what does he have on the day of judgment? 40, 50 years worth of sins. So these are very important things for us to take into consideration when it comes to our work. That this is something that you are going to be held accountable for, and the one who does good will find that work in his scale of good deeds. The one who does bad, a'yadhan billah, will find in his scale of bad deeds. Number 2, from the matters of the Muslim mindset when it comes to work, is that it is a means to earn your rizq, not a purpose of your creation. When it comes to you working, your work is a means to earn your rizq. When you're in the belly of your mother, 4 things are written. What are they? What are the 4 things that are written? Your death,
how much money you're gonna earn,
your rizq. Huh? Whether you'll be good or bad. The 4th one. Good. All of your actions. Okay, will all be written when you're in the belly of your mother. From amongst them, as we mentioned, is your rizq, your provisions, your sustenance. Everything that you eat, everything that you drink, everything that you earn, all of it will be written. So whether you are a cleaner, or a carpenter, or a lawyer, or a security guard, or an Uber driver, or tabarakallah, an entrepreneur, doesn't matter what you are, at the end of the day your rizq is written. Yes, as Muslims we take the means. Obviously the one who wants to earn more money, he will do that which he believes is going to bring him more money. But at the end of the day, no matter what you do, all of it is a means to earn your rizq. It is a means to earn your rizq. It is not, when it comes to work, it is not the purpose of your creation. Some people, unfortunately, their entire life is about earning a certain amount of money in order for them to spend as if they are in Jannah. Your work, dear brother, your work, dear sister, is a means, not a goal. When it comes to you working, you earn to earn an income so that you can open up a house, so that you can look after your family, so that you can get married, so that you can give in sadaqah, so that you can look after your parents, so that you can inshallah assist your children in the future, etc. This is a means to achieve that. Work and earning an income is never a goal in and of itself. When it becomes a goal, you become addicted to work. You have the wrong mindset for work. And you see that with individuals that work their entire lives. They work sometimes 15 to 20 hour days. 15 to 20 hour days. Sometimes they work 6 or 7 days a week without a need to. Sometimes you'll see them working 2 jobs. And when you ask why, what are you trying to achieve? I need to buy this, I need to buy this, I want to enjoy this. Is it a need? And are you in need of that money? For example, your brother's in jail, your relatives in jail, there's blood money that you need to pay. You need to pay that amount for them to come out of jail. Is there something that you actually need to work this amount for? No. Then why are you doing it? Because I want to. I want to live this type of lifestyle. This is a very wrong mentality to have. Because you've placed happiness in this tangible, materialistic world. And happiness is never here. Happiness is never here. This world is a mirage. You be in a long, dry desert, and you look and you think that you see palm trees and water. You rush to get there, you use all of your energy. You exert everything that you have to get there. Once you get there, you realize there's nothing there. That's this world. You put all of your efforts into it. You get there, you realize there's nothing there. And the goalposts have been moved. And so then you're going to rush and run to the next mirage. Rush and run to the next mirage. As the Prophet ﷺ told us, if the son of Adam was to have an entire valley of gold, he would have wanted what? Another valley of gold. And nothing will fill the belly of the son of Adam except what? The dust of the grave. This dunya will never satisfy you, ever. Never ever lie to yourself thinking that this dunya will make you happy. Never. Not only that it will never make you happy, you will never be satisfied with this dunya. If you say, I'm going to work hard so I can buy this car. Once you get it, you're going to want the next one. Never think that you're going to be happy. Inshallah, I'm just going to work until I get this house. You're going to want the next house. That is the reality of this dunya, as promised to us in the Quran and in the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. So we need to understand when it comes to work, yes, go and work and enjoy the dunya if you want. But understand that it is a means. It is a means. Your work is a means. I go to work, I earn the income, I spend on what I need to. I go to work, I earn my income, I spend on the things that I'm created for, which is to worship Allah Azza wa Jal, and the things that will help me worship Allah Azza wa Jal. Yes, go and be assisted. Buy your car, buy the car that you need, no issue. Buy the car that you need in order for you to get to A to B, in order for you to go to work, in order for you to come to the masjid, in order for you to look after your family, jayyid. But to say, I'm going to work day and night. I'm going to sacrifice my family. I'm going to sacrifice sometimes getting married. I'm going to sacrifice sometimes having children. In order for me to save, so I can buy my dream car. Why? Why sacrifice all of this good, all of this potential, all of these possibilities in order for you to achieve something that's not going to make you happy? Nor is it going to benefit you in the hereafter. Why? Why a person sometimes, they lose their children. Their children are young children or they're teenagers, and the father is working, slaving away, and he's asking, why is it? Because I want to buy a house. Okay, no problem. But by the time you buy your house, your children are adults now. You have no relationship with your children and you've lost all your children. 5, 6, 7 children lost, gone. They didn't have a father in their life. Why? Because you are busy working. Sometimes a person slaves away. Why? Oh, because I want to go on holidays, I want to do this, I want to do that. Okay, no problem. But what effort did you give to the book of Allah Azza wa Jal? The effort that you put for work, you could have memorized the Quran in 2-3 years. 2-3 years you could have memorized the Quran, but you didn't. Because you wanted to fly business class here and business class there. No problem, fly it, halal. At the end, what did you benefit? What did you take with you? At the end of it, it's gone, it's finished. And you prioritize and understand the reality of matters. Work is a means. Work is a means for you to earn your rizq and for it to assist you in worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Work a good job and take the means. Just like a person takes the means for anything else, we also for rizq. You want to be a millionaire? No issue. Take the means to be a millionaire. Take the means to be a millionaire. Nothing mushkila. But don't let it affect the purpose in life, which is to worship Allah Azza wa Jal. Don't ever let it do it. Number 3, and this is going to be a fun one. For women, it is not a set fact that she needs to go and work. This has become something, unfortunately, which has become gospel, as they say in the West, that a woman needs to go to school, do her primary, do her high school, do tertiary education, if she does that, or go straight into work. But at the end of it, she needs to look after her career, focus on her career. And if she thinks about being a housewife or not going to work, then something's wrong with this woman. And this, unfortunately, has also affected the Muslims living in the West and is now affecting the Muslims living in Muslim countries, unfortunately. And this is called major corruption, widespread corruption. Doesn't matter what country you look at, this is increased corruption. There are a lot of problems and consequences that come when a person without need goes to work. Again, you're talking about females. When a person without need goes to work and doesn't work in the right environment, this causes major corruption. Anyone who is just, anyone who is fair, anyone who understands what Islam is trying to achieve, let them go and look at the reality of women in workplaces that are not conducive to a woman's nature. How many marriages have been broken up? How much of the nature of women has changed? From her being a shy woman, a modest woman, to her being an open woman, not an immoral woman in and of her working, but her becoming a much more, they like to call a confident woman. But it's gone against her nature now, where she wants to be competitive with men, where it's led to social issues, where women in the workplace especially, and recently there was a report about this, about the competitive nature of women, how they are threatened by one another. And so one in a position of authority doesn't want to give another one a promotion so that she doesn't start to affect her job. And so many issues. But on top of that, look at what Islam is trying to achieve. Islam wants to achieve, for example, in society, modesty. When a woman goes out to work and she's working in an environment with men, every single person knows she's going to beautify herself. How do you now fix the problem between Islam trying to achieve modesty in society and a woman now going out and beautifying herself? How do you make the two not problematic? You can't. You can't rectify between the two issues. She has to go and she has to look attractive. She has to beautify herself. She has to wear attractive clothing. She does put perfume on. Islam doesn't want intermingling. It's fine, you have to be friendly. And friendly nowadays is just another term for being flirtatious. The men with the women with the men. And anyone who's worked in a mixed environment or works in a mixed environment will tell you exactly how it is. And I used to also work in a corporate environment. So no one told me otherwise. Islam wants a strong household, a healthy household. The husband has his roles, the wife has her roles, the children have their roles. When it comes to a woman working, we're talking about your general, cliche environment, cliche work role, where she goes to work at 9 o'clock, comes back at 5 o'clock. Who looks after the kids in this case? Who nurtures the kids in this case? Who looks after the affairs of the children? Whose sacrifice is here? What happens with the relationship between the men and the women? The dynamics between the men and the women. What ends up happening in the majority of these cases? Someone, if not everyone, becomes neglected. Someone, if not everyone, becomes neglected. The husband becomes neglected. The wife becomes neglected. The children become neglected. This is the reality with the majority of cases. Yes, of course, there will be exceptions. No problem, I'm not worried about the exception. The majority of cases, what happens? They wake up early in the morning. There's no relationship. The husband's getting ready for work. The wife's getting ready for work. The children are dropped off at preschool or at school. And they're given iPads in the morning because everyone's getting ready. They get dropped off. They come home. The mother's not home. The father's not home. The children are in someone's care. When the mother and father get back home from work, the mother and father, they're both tired from work. They don't have energy or time for the children. The children get raised by the iPad and the TV. Then they go to sleep. Where was the nurturing? Where was the love? Where was the care? Where was the teaching? Where were all of these things? Non-existent. What happens to the children? They grow up without proper role models, without the proper nurturing. The West is admitting this now. And there are many studies now talking about this issue. About the psychological issues of children not receiving their proper care and nurturing when they're young. How much anxiety is caused by absent parents, especially the mother. Especially the mother. If we talk about matters of cheating, it's another problem. A matter of cheating, we have this massive issue of couples not being happy with each other. Why? The husband only sees the woman in the morning when she's getting ready for work. There's no time for affection. When she comes back home from work, she's too tired. He doesn't get what he wants from his wife. Any cooking, cleaning, it's non-existent a lot of the time. So there's no relationship there. The wife doesn't get what she wants from her husband. If he's working in a mixed environment, she's working in a mixed environment, who do they spend the majority of time with? With their co-workers. They're not getting what they want from their spouse. They're spending 8, 9, 10 hours a day with a co-worker. He looks as amazing as he can. She looks as amazing as they can. They get along very, very, very good with their co-workers. They're talking about all of the issues in their life. This is where a lot of the haram happens. And then they wonder why they lost interest in their spouse. Because the only time you two see each other is when you're annoyed and angry after work, and you both look the worst that you can. And the people that are alternatives in your life from the opposite gender, you've come and you have the beautiful smiles on your face, talking about things that you have in common, and you look as beautiful as roses. So it's problem on top of problem on top of problem. Whether it's on an individual level, whether it's on a societal level, whether it's on a family level, you can go on and on and on. Alhamdulillah, finally the West is coming somewhat to terms with this reality. Somewhat. They can't openly admit it because it's going to knock down everything that they mention about a female and how a female should be. They can't come out blatantly and say, we made a massive mistake. We have all of these issues in society and this is a major cause. They can't come out and say that. Because it knocks down everything that they say about equality. Where we want the woman to be exactly like the men. So they have to continue to find band-aid solutions. We have all of these issues with children, but we can't say that it's because of absent parents. We'll just say that there's a lot of mental health issues and we need to focus more on mental health. Okay, go back and find the problem. What caused this issue? What's the major cause of mental health issues in children? Yes, there are things which are chemical imbalances, masalan. Yes, no one can help that. The child was born like that, no problem. But the problems that happen during nurturing, go and talk about it. Go and talk about this issue. Basic things they won't admit to. And they can't admit to it. Even though scientific studies are there now. But they can't because it will knock down the entire thing they have about liberalism. Everything that they built liberalism upon will be demolished. And this is the sad reality. Okay, but us as Muslims, we need to be smarter. We need to be above all the rubbish that anyone throws. Whether it's through democracy, whether it's through secularism, whether it's through liberalism. We can take the good, but the bad, we need to be better than that. We need to be smarter than that, more educated than that. As a Muslim female, she doesn't need to follow in the same path that has led to everyone else's destruction. So what if everyone else is doing it? So what if it's the one for everyone else? It doesn't have to be in your mind that I need to go and get an education and I need to go and work. Why? Because everyone else does. Is an education and work in and of themselves haram? They're not haram in and of themselves. They're not haram in and of themselves. But is it a need? No, it's also not a need. Don't go from one thing to the complete other. It's not haram in and of itself, but it's also not a need. The women of the past, what were they? From a young age, they were raised to be mothers. They were raised to be mothers. So by the time she was a teenager, she knew how to raise and look after a whole household. She knew how to look after a whole household, including her own children. By the time she was a teenager. Nowadays, she's 21 years old, she doesn't know how to do anything. Why? Because she was never taught. So not only does it lead to problems in her marriage, but it also leads to divorce. It leads to divorce when she does eventually get married. It's a massive issue. Then we have another problem of women reaching older ages. Women reaching older ages and them not being married. And sisters, I tell you directly why, because I know no one else tells you. What ends up happening? A lot of the time, a woman finishes her high school. Her dad says, no, after university, come ask for her hand. She goes to university. She does 4 or 5 years at university. Someone comes ask for her hand. No, sorry, she's starting her career. So she's not thinking about marriage now. She wants to start her career. She goes and starts her career. How old is she by this time? 25, 26, 27, as an example. 25, 26, 27. She wants to get married now. Now she's ready to get married. 25, 26, 27. Beautiful. A guy comes. We'll get to the 45-year-old. A guy comes, let's say, this guy, for example, is 28, 29 years old. He's also looking to get married. His first choice, is he going to be looking for, when I say 25, I'm talking about that's very young. It's usually a little bit older by the time they get married. Let's just say 27, which is more realistic. But 25, 26, 27. And he comes to look for a wife. The reality, is he looking for someone 25, 26, 27? Or is he looking for someone, for example, 18, 19? Looking for the 18, 19, 20, mathalan. The man who's now 20, again, 20, 28, 29, is looking to get married. Is he looking for someone to also have a career where, wallah, he's going to be at work and she's going to be at work, and they don't want to think about kids until another 5 years? Or this guy wants to get his life started. He wants to get married, he wants to have children. Which one? He wants someone that's he wants to look for children. He wants to have children. So he can't look at the one who wants to focus on her career. Because she wants to go and she wants to continue her career and delay having children or have one child who her mother raises. He doesn't want that. So he says, okay, I'm not going to worry about this woman now. So haram, she gets pushed to the side. Then she gets to 30s and she's like, you know what? I'm starting to panic now. I need to get married. Tayyib, the guys who are in their 30s are not married yet. Again, this is not the rule for everyone. I'm giving you a general rule. The guy who's not married by the time he's 30 plus. Why? This person who's not married by the time he's 30, why isn't he married? Usually there's something wrong with him. He's got psychological issues, he's financially not stable, whatever he is. You don't want to marry that kind of guy. Or he's been married before and he's divorced. Okay, man. You say, nah, I've never been married before, I don't want someone who's been married divorced. Especially if he's got children. So you're stuck now. Or he can be a second wife. So, I don't want to be a second wife. Okay, so what happens now? What happens? This woman now, and it happens a lot, and I'll give you a million examples. This woman now has reached her 30s. Who now is desperate to get married. She used to have these standards. What happens to her standards? They drop. A woman who only accepted XYZ before is now going for ABC. And sometimes that leads to a lot of problems in her life psychologically. Sometimes. Then you have another issue. When it comes to having children. We know that when women get over their 30s, it becomes harder for them to have children. Especially when they've never had children before. So it becomes another issue. And many couples, unfortunately, are spending tens of thousands of dollars on things like IVF. Again, there are people who naturally they struggle with it. We're not talking about these people. Or people who tried to look for a spouse the right way and it never worked out. We're not talking about these. We're talking about the ones who cause issues with their own hands. And this is the sad reality of many women. And no one tells them. One of my friends that I know personally, and a good friend of mine, 2 of his sisters, when they were younger, and again, this is not the most common example, but to show you the reality. 2 of his sisters, when they were younger, men would come and knock on the door asking for their hand. And the father would say, no, 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 no. Until unfortunately, eventually they ran away. Both of them, they ran away, ayadun billah, and they ended up both with non-Muslim men. The father had a heart attack and he says, I wish I married my daughters to the first guy that knocked on the door. I wish I married my daughters to the first guy that knocked on the door. A lot of fathers, they somehow, I don't know how, but they somehow have been programmed to think that their daughters don't have needs. Go ask now any 16, 17, 18-year-old girl, would you be willing to get married? She'd be willing to get married. She's willing to get married. Don't think that a girl's not willing to get married. Dear fathers, don't fool yourselves. Dear mothers, don't fool yourselves. Just like your young boy wants to get married, your daughter also wants to get married. What ends up happening to a lot of these young girls, 16, 17, 18 years old, that in their mind they can never get married. What are they? You're young, you grew up in the West, what do they end up doing? Be honest. They end up talking to boys. They end up having boyfriends. And that's the reality with the majority of people, Muslims and non-Muslims. Whether it's Snapchat, Instagram, at uni, at TAFE, at school, it doesn't matter what it is. This is the reality. You as a father have taken marriage outside of our mind. Many of the daughters are committing zina, ayadhan billah. Is it something that we're proud of? Is it something that we like? Wallah, we're ashamed, we're disgusted to talk about it. But this is the reality that we need to speak about. You've taken marriage outside of your daughter's mind. So just like your son, ayadhan billah, when he committed zina, your daughter's also doing the same a lot of the time. Not every single Muslim girl, alhamdulillah. Muslim women are still the most chaste women on the face of the earth. That's without a doubt, alhamdulillah. Without a shadow of the doubt. And we as Muslim men and Muslim women should raise our heads high that our women are so chaste in that regard, wallah alhamd. But unfortunately, it is increasing because we live in this environment. It is increasing that the girls are also starting to commit zina. Because the potential of marriage is non-existent. Because their dads 100% refuse, their mothers 100% refuse. Why are you causing issues for your children? Let your boys get married if they're ready. Let your daughters get married if they're ready. And how do you do that? You start to raise them from a young age with marriage. But this concept of you're going to go to university and you're going to get a job and then worry about marriage. Wallah, you're to blame. You're to blame when your daughter is 35 years old and she's still not married. And ayadhan billah, she goes and commits haram, that's on your neck. That's on your neck, Allah musta'an. So a woman, it's not set that she needs to go and get a job. If she goes and studies, if she goes and works, then at least make sure it's in an environment conducive to her deen, where her hijab is not compromised, her deen is not compromised. And for those, what's a nice word, for those geese, for those headless geese, that go and talk, these same men that go and say, women shouldn't go and work, they're the same ones that are the first ones to say for their wives, is there a female doctor? MashaAllah, I wish I thought like you. I wish I thought like you so I could be Einstein as well. Obviously, if there's an option there, you're not going to take it. If there's an option there, you're not going to take it. And the stupidity that people have, wallah, it's unbelievable. If there's an option there, is a female doctor here? Okay, I'll take the female doctor. What would I not say is if there's a female doctor, I don't want a female doctor for my wife. Yani, where's the mantiq? Where's the logic in that? But if there was no female doctor, there was no female nurse, is a man allowed to see your wife? Yeah, a man's allowed to see your wife. Like anything else. Adi, what's the issue? If it was to happen, it has to happen. It is what it is. And this is how it's been for centuries, for millennia. It's not nothing aib. It's nothing aib, it's nothing problematic. But these people, yani, they have issues. Allah musta'an, they have issues. But tabarakallah, yani, they think that they're so smart when they say that. They're so smart, tabarakallah. Please. Read Shakespeare, have a tea, it's on the side. Number 4, ensure that you can enjoy life's balance between worship, personal care, family, and work. Make sure you have that balance. Make sure you have balance when it comes to your work. Make sure you have balance when it comes to work. Again, your work is not the goal in life. It is a means. What's the purpose in life? To worship Allah Azza wa Jal. And if your worship is being affected, you never can come to the masjid. You never can read Quran. This is all problematic. This is all extremely problematic. You need to be able to do these things. So if your work is affecting that, then don't lie to yourself. Find ways to fix the issues that you have. Or your family. If your family has been affected by your work, your wife hates you because she never sees you. Your kids hate you because they never see you. You yourself are always stressed out. This is problematic. You need to fix this. You need to fix this. And many brothers, unfortunately, they see danger signs and they don't change. Make sure you have that balance. If you don't have that balance, make sure you make the necessary changes. Nothing should be affected by your work. Your personal soul shouldn't be affected. You should still be relaxed. If your relaxation is that you go on holidays whenever you can, that's not relaxation. Going on holidays is a bonus. You should be relaxed from week to week. And you finish your work day, you come home, you're relaxed. You finish your week, you come home, you're relaxed. Not wallah, you're killing yourself, and then once every 6 months you go on a holiday, you leave everything behind and you say, this is my holiday, I need to relax now. No. That person's going to give himself a heart attack. They call it the silent killer. Stress is the silent killer. You should be living your life in a manner where you are relaxed. And that includes your work. If your work is stressing you out to an extent where you hate your life, then there's a problem there that you need to rectify. You need to fix. Same thing if your wife, see there's levels of complaining. There's levels which are, they complain because they want 10 hours a day with you. Obviously, that's not realistic. It's not reasonable. But if your wife is complaining that she never sees you, that you never do anything as a family, that you're coming back stressed, that your attitude has changed, maybe you need to pay attention now. Maybe there is some truth to what she is saying. If your children can't stand you or your children have no relationship with you, if you know yourself, you haven't spent 1 hour a week with your children, then you know you've got a big serious issue that you need to concern yourself with. Remember when we said about parenting, you've only got those very few years as they're young to worry about your children. If you're not actively in your child's life from 0 to 14 years old, don't think you're going to make it up when they're 15 plus. Your children, as we mentioned, your children do not care what brand shoes they wear. I could get my son Asics, I could get him Nike, but Nike is haram, Allahu Alam. I can get him Adidas, I could get him Louis Vuitton, I could get him Payless shoes, I don't even know if they're still open anymore. I can get him from Vincent de Paul. He will not know the difference. He will put shoes on and he will walk out, normal. Same thing with his shorts, same thing with his pants, same thing with his shirt, same thing with his hat, same thing with his sunglasses. He does not care. Kids do not care. When they're older, they're not going to care. But they will care about the relationship they had with you. If that relationship is tight and good when they're young, inshallah they'll continue to love you and cherish you, look after you and honor you when you're older. But if the relationship is non-existent, inshallah you spent millions of dollars on their clothes when they were younger, they wouldn't care. Same thing with holidays. Kids don't care about the materialistic. Right now, some of you are parents, tabarakallah, when you go on holidays, you go on a holiday for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Your kids will have the time of their life. On the way back, what do they tell you? They're bored. On the way back. They're kids. They don't understand these things. Kids are kids. They don't understand these matters. So your job is not to worry about materialistically what they do, but to have that relationship with them. To have that relationship with them. And if your work is the reason you don't have it, then again, that's something that you need to be reassessing. You need to be reassessing that. Number 5, you don't have to stick to the system. Beat the system. Okay? I don't understand. I want someone, I hope someone, maybe someone here can do it, inshallah. Anyone study sociology in school? In university, sorry? Amr, you don't do it? As soon as I said sociology, Amr looked like I said something from Sa'ar. I would love for someone to study where the 9 to 5 day came in. Because it doesn't make sense to me at all. I love conspiracy theories. Something about 9 to 5 does not make sense to me at all. To me, 9 to 5, don't take this as wallah, I'm actually saying. I'm just saying a heck as words. 9 to 5 is there deliberately to stuff up people's day. There's something about the Illuminati here. It doesn't make sense for a person to work from 9 to 5. Yani, if you're meant to sleep, for example, 8 hours a day. Okay? So we'll start from 9 o'clock day. 9 o'clock. You got workers here. But you're a builder, you start at 6. That makes sense. If you start at 9 o'clock, let's say you finish at 5, you get home at 6, as an example. Okay, what time are you going to go to bed? What time are you going to go to bed if you get home at 6 o'clock? Let's just say you went to sleep at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, what time are you going to wake up if it's 9 to 5? Let's say, at 10 o'clock. You wake up at 6 o'clock. What are you doing for the 3 hours there? What are you doing for 3 hours? Okay, you wake up 1 hour, you brush your teeth, you had your tea, you had your wheat bix. What do you do for the next 3 hours? And then that 5 o'clock doesn't make sense. Because by the time you get home, everyone's smashed, everyone's tired. I don't know, something about it shonky. Something about it doesn't make sense. Okay, the builders and the tradies, that makes sense. Nice and early in the morning. Okay, nice and early in the morning, finish early. That makes sense. I can understand that. But the 9 to 5 doesn't make sense. Okay? So if you can beat the system, beat the system. If you can beat the system, beat the system. You don't have to work 5 days a week. Unless you work for Amir. You work for Amir, different story. You work for Amir, you have to work 6.5 without overtime. Okay? If a person has the ability, for example, he's got his own business, and he can afford to work 4 days a week, why work the 5th day? If you can afford to work tabarakallah 4 days a week, work 4 days a week. Jayyid, that 5th day, make it something special for yourself. Doesn't mean you have to sleep in all day. Okay, one of the days sleep in. But for example, memorize the Quran that one day. Read that one day. Travel that one day. Do something with your wife that one day. Do something with your mother, your father, your children. Go do something different. Instead of saying, man, I'm always busy, I've got too much on. Finish your day less. Book in your work later. Beat the system, it's fine. It's fine, beat the system.
Send a link to this.
Don't do send a link, no, don't do that. Okay. Beat the system. Okay, a lot of brothers, what ends up happening to them? They get stuck in it. They get stuck in the cycle. And then you say to them and say, I can't. Well, stop for a second. Tabarakallah, I know your financial capabilities. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Or, for example, you get a worker. Okay, you're going to lose, mathalan, instead of making $600 on that job, you're only going to make 300. No issue. Make only 300. What's the big deal? Again, when you look at work as a means to achieve things in life, not the goal itself, you're not going to care about that 300. Get a personal assistant, get a driver, get whatever you need to get. Get a second phone. Do what you need to do in order for you to be able to live relaxed, in order for you to have that balance, in order for you to achieve better and bigger things in life. But for you to be running. Some people are working 6.5 days a week. You're killing yourself. You're killing yourself. You're killing your marriage. You're killing your children. You're killing your parents. What are you getting at the end of an extra $300-$400 a week? For what? Prioritize in life. If you can afford to work less, afford to work different, then do that. A lot of brothers, especially the ones that work for themselves, if you ask any person, why did you start working for yourself, they always tell you what? Why do people start working for themselves? They want to work more flexible hours. They want to be in control of the hours that they work. What ends up happening to all the guys that work for themselves? They end up working more hours for less money. Does that make sense? They end up working more hours for less money. Why? Because you got caught up in the system. He could finish, for example, at 1:30 or 2 o'clock. Works at 6, finishes at 2, mathalan. Then he gets a call. Can you do this extra job? It's going to take him 2 hours. He says, you know what, I'm going to make $500. Wallah, I finish an extra 2 hours, $500. Wallah, mad. Easy money. He does it. Eventually he gets to a point where he's working from 6 to 6 every single day. What ends up happening to him? He ends up wanting to kill himself. He becomes fried. He becomes, he's so overworked. He loses his mind. He loses his marriage. He loses his children. Or he takes on work, where he has to hire more people. He has to hire more machines. Until he ends up making less money than he did with triple the stress. What was the benefit? Stay in control. You need to stay in control. You need to stay in control. Sometimes, this is a common example with builders, tabarakallah. He wanted to go and become a builder. Again, he's in control, more money, etc., etc., etc. He takes on more than he can chew. He bites off more than he can chew. And he gets stuck. And he starts stressing, I need to do this, 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 I need to do this. Who told you to do all of that in the beginning? Don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. Your work is a means to achieve. Beat the system. Turn your phone off. Don't be scared to turn your phone off. Get 2 phones. Every person that's busy needs 2 phones. Every person, I don't care who you are. Every person that's busy needs 2 phones. One phone is your general phone. The other phone is for Facebook Live. Yeah. One phone is for your general things. The other phone is for emergencies. The only people that have that are, for example, your family, people that are very, very, very close. But if there is an actual emergency, they can call you, inshallah. What does a person need your number for, Yani? What is it that you have that they can't call 000 for? In all honesty. I don't know anyone who couldn't get in contact with someone and ended up dying because of it. I don't know anyone, alhamdulillah. If it's a serious emergency, they don't need to call you. Call 000, call the ambulance, call the fire brigade, call the police. Don't call me. What am I going to do for you? Jayyid? Give da'wah to them as they're dying. Say la ilaha illallah. They should know. They should know that. There's nothing that a person can do for them. If you're a builder and you're getting calls Saturday night, Sunday morning, why? It's not right. This can really affect you, affect your family. If your brain never stops working, because the problem. Some people get insomnia because of it. Some people, they're getting nightmares because of it. Some people, they can't have a relationship with anyone. Some people, they're always angry. They can never break off. They can never let go. This is a massive issue. You see, you be at a family barbecue, the guy gets a phone call, he's gone for half an hour, comes back, he's stressed. Why? You need to be able to cut off. Believe me, if you're a builder, you're a spark, you're a tradesman, whatever it is, a person can contact you on Saturday or Sunday, they'll call you on Monday morning, inshallah. You get back to Monday morning. It's going to be fun. Life's going to be fun, inshallah. Life's going to continue. But don't be scared to break the system and break the system. Number 6, don't be scared to change for the better. Don't be scared to change for the better. If you are in a position where you are not happy with where you are and there's an opportunity for you to change, change. But just make sure it's for the better. Like, for example, you're working for someone and the work hours or the environment is not conducive to your environment. Change to something better if you can. Look for something better. And the Prophet ﷺ told us, "Man taraka shay'an lillah, awadahu Allahu khayran minhu." Whoever leaves something for the sake of Allah, Allah replaces it with something better. Allah replaces it with something better. So if you're sincere and you're truthful, do it. Even if it means earning less money. Better here doesn't mean more money. Whenever you think of better, they always correlate it with more money. That's not correct. Islamically, we're not worried again about the materialistic. If there's more money, beautiful. But for us, better means a million things. Beginning with it's better for our religion. Also, we place a lot of importance on our health. We place a lot of importance on our family. When it comes to money, that should be the least of our concerns. As long as our needs are covered, alhamdulillah. Better for us could be a better environment. Maybe it's closer to home for you. Maybe that's better. Maybe it's better for your mental health. It's not as stressful. Maybe better means you can spend more time with your kids. Better could mean a million things. So if it's better for you, don't be scared to change. Pray istikhara, seek advice and go for that which is better. But to remain stuck, feeling that you're in need, this is not the way a Muslim is meant to think. It's not the way a Muslim is meant to think. And if you do leave working for someone to go work for yourself, then again, make sure you understand that you're going to work for yourself to better your situation, not to make it worse. Don't get sucked in by the money. Number 7, constantly reassess and don't lie to yourself. When you're working, constantly reassess. If you find yourself, okay, I left my job with my boss to open up my own company in order for me to have more time. And at the beginning, mashallah, you're finishing at 2 o'clock. So you've got plenty of time. Mashallah, you go to the gym and you spend time with your kids and you read Quran and you pray Isha in the masjid and you're loving your life. And then you slowly start to find your finish time creep up to 3 o'clock. Then creep up to 4 o'clock. Where you find you don't have time for your kids, you don't have time for yourself, you don't have time for your deen. Constantly reassess yourself and saying, what am I doing wrong? And what needs to change? Constantly be reassessing yourself. Okay? And don't lie to yourself. If you know that your work is not conducive to your deen, to yourself, to your family, then again, don't be scared to change. Some people, they lie to themselves. They're in an environment where it's full of fitna. For example, even a guy, he's in an environment and there's all women around and he's starting to fall victim to the fitna that's there. Don't lie to yourself and say, no, my deen's strong enough, tabarakallah. My iman's strong enough, tabarakallah. It doesn't work. Okay, it doesn't work. It's like Ya'juj and Ma'juj. Little hole every day. Little hole every day. Little hole every day. Little hole every day. One day they say inshallah and it works. For you, one day you forget to say inshallah and your life is finished. Ayadun billah. Okay? So don't be scared. Don't be scared to change, but you need to be reassessing yourself and don't lie to yourself when it comes to your work. Number 8, something is better than nothing. Don't get used to being unemployed. Mr. Santaning. Don't get used to being unemployed. Anyone that's not employed, let's say, for example, you're a mechanical engineer, tabarakallah, and you've been looking but you can't find work in mechanical engineering. Don't be scared to say, you know what, I'll go work as a laborer until I find something. Don't get used to being unemployed. One thing I hate is any young man being used to being unemployed. If I hear and if I get to know someone and I say, what are you doing? He says, right now nothing. Okay, no problem. What is a hustler? Tabarakallah. What are you? He's not even that. They're not even hustlers anymore. What are you looking for? Oh, I'm looking for this dream job with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, until you find that, what are you doing? Wallah, Shaykh, yani, just Fortnite, Call of Duty, sleeping in until 2 o'clock. Wallah, this upsets me a lot because it's not how a Muslim man is meant to be. A Muslim man is meant to have character. A Muslim man is meant to be strong. A Muslim man is meant to be a person who's productive. If you can't get that dream job that you can, no problem. Go work as a laborer for now. Go work as a tradie. Go work as an offsider. Go find another job. Something is better than nothing. Don't ever get used to being unemployed because this really kills you as a man. Sometimes if you're sick, for the ones that, alhamdulillah, you guys work and you do things every day, and then you're at home like sick for like 1, 2, 3 days, you start to feel like claustrophobic. Like, what the heck am I doing in the house? Am I transitioning into a woman? What's going on? It doesn't feel normal. It doesn't feel normal. You feel that something's wrong. You feel like anjad, you don't feel like a man. You're meant to get out there and you be working. Even guys on holidays. Like if he takes holidays from work and he's at home, okay, the first day mad, the second day, the third day he starts to feel that there's an issue there.
Cutting the grass.
Yes, there's an issue. Because you need to go do something. Because you don't feel right. It doesn't feel right being at home for no reason. So if a man gets himself used to this person has a massive issue. So Allah, I hate when brothers, for example, they want to get married and they're not employed. Why? How are you going to get asked for? And how do you have the nerve to ask for someone's hand and you're unemployed? Inshallah, find a job. Find a job now, then go. Because you get so used to being at home. You get so used to waking up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, sleeping at 2 o'clock in the morning. You get so used to this lifestyle that when you go get a job, you're there for 1 week and then you want to leave. Because you're not comfortable anymore. Go do whatever you can. Go do, inshallah, you're washing dishes. Go do whatever you can so you can earn a halal income. And you can feel like a man. You can get used to being a man. You get out to work in the morning, you come back home tired at night. This is how a person is meant to be. This is how your lifestyle goes along. There are so many brothers I know that only get in trouble, whether it's with the law or with haram, when they're not working. Why? Because they have too much time. When you have too much time on your hands, who do you hang out with? Other guys that have too much time on their hands. And usually guys that have too much time on their hands, are they the best people or they're not the best people? Usually they're not the best of people. So you end up falling into issues. Okay, you don't want to get used to that. You want to go and work. You want to be productive. You want to be strong in your life. Even for young kids, now we're in the 6-week holidays. Go work. Go work your 6-week holidays. Don't sit at home and sleep in. That's not what life is for. Go earn money. If you can't earn money, go earn experience. Amir, what do they need? A green card? Or white card? I don't know what they call it these days. White card? Green card's in America. So go earn your white card. Okay, one day in TAFE, your TAFE teacher will give you the answers anyway. And go work on a job so for free. Go do it for free. It's online now, even easier. Go do it. Go work for free, just for experience. Get a guy, wallah, he doesn't know right-hand hammer from a left-hand hammer. He's got no idea. He's got no idea how to use a Jew. He's got no idea how to use anything. Wallah, it's not good. A Muslim is meant to be like that. A Muslim is meant to be strong. A Muslim is meant to be smart. A Muslim is meant to be able. You see what the kids are growing up in today? Wallah, it's very sad. And that work ethic will translate to a lot of other things in your life. The person who doesn't want to work, for example, you think he's going to memorize Quran? In all honesty, person who never wants to commit to anything, you think he's going to commit to being married? Doesn't work like that. Person needs to put in effort in order for him to see his results, inshallah. Finally, learn from the mistakes of others. Learn from the mistakes of others. Don't ever think that you can beat everyone else. Don't ever think that your life will be different to everyone else. This is something that's going to constantly come up with us as a rule in our mindset. That don't think that you're a person because everyone else failed that you have the secret answer. Everyone, the shaitan makes them think that they have the secret answer to success. It doesn't work. If everyone else is failing, you're also going to fail. In that regard, you don't have the secret answer. You don't have the secret juice. You don't have the secret ingredient. So learn from the mistakes of others. If you know people, they've stuffed up their businesses because of this. They stuffed up their marriages because of their work. Their children are lost because of their work. They've given themselves heart attacks because of their work. Learn from their mistakes. What made them get to that, and make sure you don't fall into the same issue. Otherwise, you're going to make the same mistakes as them eventually. Now, because you're not going to outsmart the system unless you make those rule changes. So the points here quickly again. Number one, it's an act of worship if it's done properly, and then it's a sin if done incorrectly. Number 2, it's a means to earn your rizq. It's not the purpose of your creation when it comes to work. Number 3, for women, it's not a set fact that she needs to go and get a job, and we explained that. Number 4, ensure that you can enjoy life's balance between worship, personal care, family, and work. Number 5, you don't have to stick to the system, okay, like working 9 to 5 or 5 or 6 days a week, and you can make your own rules. Number 6, don't be scared to change for the better, and inshallah Azza wa Jal, Allah Azza wa Jal will put barakah in your efforts there. Number 7, constantly reassess and don't lie to yourself. Example, there being too much fitna at work. Number 8, something is better than nothing. Don't get used to being unemployed. This is for the men. Number 9, don't think that you can. Or number 9, learn from the mistakes of others. Learn from the mistakes of others. This is a few points regarding work. هذا والله أعلم. صلى الله عليه وسلم محمد وعلى آله محمد وصحبه أجمعين.